Two, 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 two. Are we on the countdown, Celine?
When you see it to the real image, you start talking. Five seconds.
Hello everyone, welcome along to the Brinx World Downhill Skateboarding Championship and welcome to the Kingdom of Awesomeness. We are about to ride the dragon here in Wales for round 2 of the series. Of course, we started back in June in Erzincan, Turkey with an absolute thriller. Bouclier taking the win and Colby Parks winning the luge. They are both here again looking to cement their leads at the top of the championship. It's a very different setup here in the mountains of Wales. This is going to be a real test. It's a shorter course, as you can see, here in the Cambrian Mountains. It's a narrower course as well. We've got qualification coming up now. 3 runs of qualification, Q3, Q2, Q1. We're going to cut them down as we get through these qualification runs. My name's Ian Finley. It is a pleasure to have your company yet again at the Brinx World Downhill Skateboarding Championship. Q1 for the luge getting underway. It is Phil Spencer. We've got 8 lugers. We're going to cut down to 6 for Q2, 4 for Q3. Phil Spencer getting us underway here in the luge category. Our first chance to take a look at this course. Tricky right-hander, first of all, for the UK's fastest granddad, as he claims. He's on SP8 boards. Did you catch us on the news this week? How cool was that? You can get a real look at this course. It is tight, it is twisty, it's a little bit bumpy in places, but it is beautiful. We are delighted to be here in Wales. This is one of the key sections of this course. When we get into the head-to-head racing, it might be won and lost in there. The speed builds up through this section, and the riders have got their work cut out from top to bottom. Phil on the front of that board, really working hard through the final section. The finish line's in sight after this real tricky little chicane. You've got to get your entry and exit right, or you can lose a lot of speed. He's done a lot of training up in Tregaron, not far away from here, and Spencer across the line. And I'll bring you some times as and when we get them. So bear with us on that as now on course it is Andy Spate, 5th in Erzincan, the man that is doing so much to push luging in the UK and globally as well in those bright red SP8 board leathers. Great to see him yet again. He designs and manufactures his boards. Got a 2nd place last season in Erzincan. He's a tall athlete. He did a wonderful job speaking with us this week, doing the media rounds. It's a hill he's raced on. He knows this hill a little bit. He knows the UK roads. And we're delighted to be racing in Wales, in the United Kingdom, for the first time on the Brinx World Downhill Skateboarding Championship. Lots of action coming up for you over the course of the weekend. Now, Andy Spate. Not got a time for Phil Spencer yet, so I'll just do a little refresh, see if anything pops up. Nothing on my screen, so we've got paperwork flying everywhere. Andy coming into the chicane. He's got that, I think, a little better than Phil managed. Still a decent run from Phil. Spencer, we'll bring you the times as and when we get them, but Andy Spate in the finish area. You can see as that's me in the bright orange in that sheep trailer if you want to have a look. Here, next rider on course, another of the British riders. Here, the UK luge scene really representing. There's the scene at the start. We're plopped on top of a mountain here. Just on a little hold at the moment. We've got 3 lugers on the course, or have completed the course so far. I'm delighted to have your company wherever you're watching around the world on the live stream. It's been a lot has happened since we were last with you in Erzincan. George Cheeseman getting his run underway now. As I was saying, the British riders representing here. Myrtle completing his run, Ian Martland, as George Cheeseman working his way down the course, out of the UK, out of London. Loves watching his motorsport on 2 wheels or on 4 wheels. We are working on getting some time, so do bear with us on that, folks, but hopefully you're enjoying the pictures here at the farm, Dolbolian Farm, hosting us, and we pay a big thanks to them. You can see on this course, braking points are absolutely critical, particularly into this chicane. You can run it wide and you can run it too wide and smash into the hay bales. Oh, and George Cheeseman off the board. That luge is rattling towards the finish line. There'll be a little bit of work to do on the course, just on the final turn, and that is what can happen on this chicane. You can come in if you just run it too wide. Josh Fieldwick, I apologise, not George Cheeseman. So that was Josh. Josh is walking towards us. He's picked his luge up. So Josh Fieldwick completing his run on foot. So a bit of work going on with the bales, getting them back in position. That's going to happen. There's the start. It's a long start. You build the speed up into turn number 1, and then we are working our way into, after that first turn, there's a little rise on the course, and then it is just start to finish. You're just working from top to bottom. No respite on this short, sharp and steep hill. Some real testing turns for the athletes. Colby Parks waiting at the start line in the wind at the top of the mountain. So there's a bit of sweeping going on as Colby Parks waits to get started. The man out of Canada took that victory in round number 1. Of course, if you were with us for round 1, you'd have seen that big crash from Abdul Madzan. Well, whilst we're on a little hold, we've got a...
Track's just the same as it was. Got a good clean run in, which is always good for a first qualifying run.
So that's settled the nerves nicely now, hopefully getting through to Q2, through to Q3. You all ready to go now and know the track quite well?
Yeah, I'm ready to go now, that's it, yeah. It's not a lot of difference now. Now you've got a safe run, you can actually relax into the others because you know you've qualified.
What's the trickiest part of this course? Where's like kind of the key focus points on the way down?
There's quite a few. It's not an easy course. There is corner 1 seems to be causing a little bit of problems with people sliding, but the left-hander after it is also very tricky and you can easily run wide on it. And also the third point is down at the bottom. The chicane is also causing a lot, so it's not an easy course.
There's no chance to really relax and settle in. You've got to be switched on all the way through.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. All the way down you've got to be focused. otherwise you'll pay for it.
And how's the setup look different, like in terms of the board? Have you set it up slightly differently to before, or talk us through the board setup?
My board's set up because I've done this before. I know that it's got a couple of tight corners, so I've upped the angles, which gives me a bit more turning, so I can turn a bit easier. But I've also got to watch out because then in the straights you get the dreaded wobbles.
Trying to find that little balance between the speed and the cornering.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Amazing. So we'll pass back to Ian for the commentary stream. Hopefully we're ready to go for the next set of races, and we'll continue on with the first phase of qualification.
Oh, you may have noticed we've run out of jammers. We've now got Gaz helping us out with the interviews today. So Colby Parks waiting to get his run underway. So Colby still waiting to get underway, our winner of round number 1. And he knows powering away into the start. The track is repaired. And Colby Parks out of Canada, supported by Arfang Wheels, Raw Rocket Skateboards, an 11-time Canadian Street Luge Champion, 2018 World Champion, 39 years old, been the 2018 World Champion, as I was saying. He'll be looking to put down a really strong first run here in this qualification. As I get sometimes, I'll bring them to you. To apologise for that, folks, but hopefully you're enjoying watching the action right now. We're in Q1 as Colby Parks is on course. Just over a minute, roughly, in length of racing here. We had that little fall with Josh Fieldwick earlier, that little crash into the bales. These guys have had plenty training runs on the course. You just got a glimpse of our photographer there, Simone, who brings you some of the most amazing still images you will ever see of any sport. And it's a clean run from Colby. He is in the finish area. And that is the scene at the bottom. We've got the big screen underway again with the next rider. Big turn. One. Got to use every inch of the road here, and with the surface, it's you're going through some wheels, that's for sure. On this surface, it's pretty rough. It's pretty bumpy in places. It's been patched up where it can. That is the view out of the start, high up in the Welsh hills. Wind is blowing at the top. You can see some of the open stand-up guys getting ready as we get through qualifying. Probably, maybe be able to get someone to come join me in the commentary box, but certainly once we're into head-to-head racing, that is where I'll hopefully be able to bring you the rider's view. But we've got Gaz out on the hill as well that will be doing some interviews for us. So another run completed here. Ulrich Becker getting himself underway, getting started. Third in Erzincan. That great final with Andrei Ilic, David Frega as well. In that race that Colby took the victory. So Ulrich Becker into turn 1. You see him working the upper body, trying to steer that luge, those luges with 4 wheels on the front, and Ulrich's got the 4 on the back as well. Long hairpin set up on the right hand side, try and pinch that apex of the turn, and Ulrich's running it nice there. Good line from Ulrich Becker. Speed builds up through this section, but one of the toughest parts of the course is still to come. Such a hard job through this section. Ulrich Becker now into the chicane, gets it on the right-hand side. It's the exit here that is so tricky. You're going to run wide and close to the bales. Ulrich's handled it nicely. I can feel a little bit of rain starting to fall as well. Ulrich Becker in the finish area. So solid work from Becker out of Germany. Getting ready to start the stand-up. I don't have any times for you yet. If anyone can bring some times to me, that would be really useful, because I know you guys are going to want them at home. But Q1 for the luge, all done and dusted. We're getting ready to start with the open stand-up here, the Brinx World Downhill Skateboarding Championships. Of course, we're now competing for in the open stand-up category for the Brinx Cup. That comes along with a $10,000 prize to the winner of the open stand-up. And a huge thanks to Brinx TV for all of their support. The last of the losers just crossing the line. Dan Pierk from the Netherlands just crossing the line in front of us as we're getting ready for the open stand-up. Up in the wind at the top of the hill here in Wales, round number 2 of the Brinx World Downhill Skateboarding Championship. Guys are getting ready. They've had their practice time. They know what is to come. Here you can see them all lined up. We've got Jack Plummer back after his injuries, various injuries. Good to see him back. Harry Clark racing again, missed out on the first event in Erzincan. So the Australian back in business here on the World Downhill Skateboarding Championship. So just on a little hold whilst we are waiting for the okay. I think timing just being checked out and everything. We don't have to do any reruns or anything like that. But these things do happen. Big thanks to everyone in this part of the world and all the crew that got here earlier in the week to get the bales out on course and bag the bales up, because we've had some rain. We're expecting more rain over the weekend, and the wind as well blowing around. We've had issues with some of the equipment. You probably can't see it here, but we're on top of a mountain. We've got a crew on top of a mountain with a tent that has had a bit of trouble just keeping it on top of the mountain, it's fair to say. We seem to end up in some windy places though, don't we? Well, there we go. I think that's our man Volkan at the top of the mountain. It's lonely up there, but he's doing a fantastic job. We'll make sure we get him some hot food and hot drink later. That is the lengths that our crew go to bring you the pictures. Stand for a week on top of a mountain. So getting underway with the open stand-up. Arthur Hales, representing Wales, gets the open stand-up underway. It's a hill, of course, he will be familiar with, as all of the local riders are. He's on a rocket longboard. Into that tricky turn. Of course, the riders on their own. We're going to be racing 2 at a time. Once we get into finals, it's just not wide enough for the 4 riders. And of course, that means it's a little different to what we saw in Turkey. A slide to get the brakes on, manage the speed, and there's just a little bit of drizzle falling. I can certainly feel it in my commentary trailer. Yes, I'm in a sheep trailer today, and I actually quite like it. I've commentated in far worse positions than this, and Arthur Hales crosses the line. No, it's not Arthur Hales, is it? I'll just double check. I think they've given me the wrong graphic there. Do apologise, folks. So next rider underway. Nice into that first turn, using that road well. Trying to get low into the tuck. The speed goes on this section. Just losing the rider behind the rock. Apologies again that we don't have any times for any of the riders yet. They are being recorded. But it would be useful, of course, for everybody if we were able to bring you some times. Here we go, picking them up again through the bottom section of the course. Alex Suganakis out of France. Great to have him back on the circuit. First run for Suganakis, sponsored by 9.81 Riptide Tessier Technique and a Best Bagel Lyon. I think they are the best bagels in Lyon as well. Harry Clark on the line. Out of Sydney, Australia. He's got that powerful start. Regular footed rider. So Harry Clark coming into turn one. His first Brinx World Downhill Skateboard Championship race of the season. He's only done a couple of other races this year. He's won both of them. Here you're climbing just a little bit over that little crest. And now the speed builds down this sweeping left into right-hander before the big hairpin. Harry's run a beautiful line through there. And now it's getting into that aerodynamic position. Keeping low, keeping that board as stable as possible. And now you've got to manage the speed through this next section because the chicane is coming up where this race might be won and lost. Big, big slide from Clark. Harry Clark, sponsored by Madrid Skateboards, Venom Skate and Road Trucks, crosses the line. Solid, solid run from the Australian. Next rider, under the command of Will Stevenson, getting set. It's Gregor Schwab from Switzerland. Finished in 5th place in Erzincan. 21 years old, been a European Junior Champion. Sponsored by Scooper Energy, Peak Punk, 88 wheels. See some great content from the Swiss superstar. Out riding the roads of Switzerland in all conditions. And now I am getting some times for you. We're just going to focus on Gregor's run here through the hairpin. Runs it really nice out to the right-hand side of the road. It's going to be tight even in the head-to-head racing. I'll run through the Luge Q1 times for you in a second. As we enjoy Gregoire just approaching the hairpin here. I'm absolutely loving this road. It is going to be fast. It is going to be frantic once we get into the knockout rounds. Through the chicane again. Pinched that line beautifully. And now it's head down towards the finish line for Gregor Schwab. So 1:14.226 for Colby in Street Luge. 1:14.320 for Ulrich Becker. Andrew Spate in third, 1:15.102. Phil Spencer with a 1:15.714. George Cheeseman, 1:15.949. It tells you how tight it is up there in this race. I've got a few times for riders that haven't actually qualified yet, so I'm not going to give you the open stand-up times. There might be some times that have come from some of the warm-up runs, so just bear with me on that. Next rider on the hill here. Very good looking run from Gregor Schwab and from Harry Clark. Zuganakis with a strong run as well. And smooth across the line for Owen Fox. Changed his leathers again, so yeah, they like to keep me on my toes. Who have we got in the start now? And that looks like the tall, imposing figure of everyone's favourite Norwegian, Olav Øy. Didn't have the best of races in Erzincan. Olav came and joined me in the commentary box. 29-year-old kindergarten teacher. Sponsored by Rollover. So Gregor Schwab with that, we think a 1:11.285. Harry Clark with a 1:12.184. Now it's the turn of Olav. Tallest, maybe between him and Jack. I think Olav's maybe just got a little centimetre on Jack in terms of height between these guys. So Olav, goofy-footed rider. And this course does, just with the profile, the layout of the hill, it really suits the goofy riders. A big slide. Taking quite a lot of speed off through that first turn, but you kind of have to make sure you get round. It's all about getting through into the top 12 in stand-up to run again in Q2. With Olav's size and power, he can build that momentum quickly. Through the hairpin. Getting that right hand on the board, adding a little bit of stability. And now sets up, stands up tall. Drops down low on the slide. Releases. Build a little bit more. The chicane up in front, and I think Olav's had a bit of a problem here. So Olav is down. Not ideal on run one, that's for sure. Let's hope he's okay. This course has got some real bite to it. Lost his visor as well. Well, that's what can happen in this game, Q1, and it all goes wrong. Just looking for one or two more bits of equipment. Well, there, Jack Plummer on the start line. Jack's still not quite 100%. Jack wants to give a big thanks to everyone at Goodwood. That's where he's employed. Sponsored by Scythe Gear and La Paulade as well. Good to have Jack back on the circuit, on the media rounds as well for us this week. Olav is going to come through and cross the line. Well, good to see him finishing the run under his own steam. Bit of damage, certainly to the lenses as Jack Plummer's underway. His first Brinx World Downhill Skateboarding Championship race of the season. Handles that turn nicely. He's been going pretty well in practice this week. A fully fit Jack Plummer on these roads would be a great bet for this race, because he knows the type of surfaces that we race on, that we ride on in the UK. Can handle the little variations on the road. Runs it out nicely. And now it is the chicane that caused all those problems for Olavoy. Jack, another regular footed rider through the first part of the chicane. Oh, and problems for Jack Plummer as well. So Jack with an issue. Last two riders having some problems. Well, it might all come down to that final chicane. We see Jack just having a little chat with himself in the finish area. Adrian Paynell in the start, waiting to go. Frenchie, as he's known. "23-year-old, started racing 2018, sponsored by Seismic Skate Tech, Madrid Skateboards, Becker, Foot Brake Soles, Lockfoot Stops as well. Really great race from him. He entertained us all in Erzincan. Wind is still blowing around at the top of the course. It's not the coldest of days. You do need your jackets on, though. It's cold if you stand out in a t-shirt for long enough. You see all the crew kitted up. Will's got all the right gear in the start, so that's all good. So here we go. Paynell, under the command of our starter Will Stevenson, gets moving. Another goofy-footed rider. Big race for him this weekend in Wales. Him and Bouclier at the top of the standings. So Paynell into turn number 1. You see those pucks sparking off the surface. Provides those beautiful, dramatic pictures that we absolutely love in this sport. One of the superstars of the Brinx World Downhill Skateboarding Championship on his first run in qualifying into the hairpin. Handles it well. Everyone getting the line right, but it's this next section that has been causing the problems. Coming into this chicane. Can Paynell handle it through the first section, but it's this next bit we're just losing the riders coming through here a little bit thanks to the trees. And he's managed it. It is so tough with the speed these guys are going at. And Paynell across the line. Decent run from Paynell. We'll confirm all the times for you in a moment or two. Just getting the drones ready.
Wait, you guys, I'm going to try to cue you in. Let's see.
So just on another little hold. I'm looking at bringing you some times, but there's been a few riders haven't seen yet that are still showing, because on my screen at the moment, so you can see Antoine Carlotti still up there as well. Bouclier still up there. Who have we got in the gate? Is that Micaiah Harness? from the US. Well, we've had some drama already, haven't we? That is what we don't want to see riders crash, but we do love the drama of the Brinx World Downhill Skateboarding Championship. So we're going to have a quick interview coming up for you in a second. We'll go back to Gemma the Third, or Gaz as he's more commonly known.
End of the first qualification run. How was that for you?
Yeah, it was good. It's definitely pretty. It's a hell of a track to send, and yeah, everyone's down safe. Only a one minor crash from Jack, and he's all good. But yeah, nice to get the first one out the way, and stoked for the next few.
Did you get any kind of home field advantage racing here?
This event was actually before my time, so I've never skated here either. So yeah, I was as shocked and excited as everyone else when we all showed up for the first time.
So talk us through the tactics as you're going down. Like, give us a bit of a run through the course.
Yeah, so first couple corners, the first one's pretty rough. There's a definite goofy advantage, so all the right foot forward riders definitely have a nicer time. But yeah, and then the uphill section, a lot of the heavier riders are liking it. But yeah, and then there's the finish straight, and this slice the right-hander, super sketchy, but it's great. It's super fun.
Perfect. Well, we'll pass back to Ian Finley in the commentary box, and we'll go on to the next round of racing.
Thanks, Gaz. Thanks, Bumpy. Great to get the insight from the riders as we're getting ready for the next man to go. We've heard from Bumpy. We're gonna give him a headset.
Grab this chair.
Yeah, take the chair, man. I'm just gonna make sure.
Who's dropping?
Let me just unmute your mic. Get the cans on. We'll get that there. All right. Now you can hear everyone can hear us talking away. Wow. Now you can see the open stand-up times at the moment. It is Gregor Schwab. We've got it working for you. Finally, it's Schwab in the lead. 1:11 at 2:85. Bumpy, what do you think of this hill?
Yeah, it's super tight. It's really cool to see. It's nice to see everyone on a variety of race wheels as well. Previously, it was quite a monopoly, and everyone kind of rode the same one wheel. And now there are a few competitors, and it's cool to see who has the edge and like what's straight and what corner. So, yeah, that's really cool to see.
Have you ridden this hill before this weekend?
No, this was first time for me. Yesterday, first time. I helped with the setup, so at least I could kind of see where all the cracks are.
Talk us through this section, because we saw it catch out Jack, it caught out Olav. It's tough, isn't it?
This is, yeah, definitely the crux of the hill. That first sweeper is running it wide. Yeah, that first sweeper's super fast, and it just absolutely sends you down and it really narrows off. Good line from Mocha, though, just scraping the bales on the outside. Yeah, really solid run. You've got to push it, haven't you? You've got to run it really wide, because there's not a lot of road to work with. Yeah, and especially like the finish straight is like slightly flatter, so like carrying the speed is super key to a good time. But yeah, you're just getting fired into that last right left at so much speed, and the surface is far from perfect. So
it is what it is, you know. Everyone's got to adapt.
Crazy to see everyone handling it so well.
It's just a quality. It's a testament to you guys and everyone else that are out there that, okay, we're going to race, we're going to deal with it.
Yeah.
And we're looking at the time gaps as well, less than a second between the top four, and that tells us when we get into head-to-head racing, it's going to be so tight.
It's going to be super tight, and it's interesting because no one really knows where to overtake. So it's going to be really interesting of like who pushes out first, whether they want to try play it tactically, who knows.
So that is not Yanis Makarian, that is Mr. Antoine Carlotti coming in to this first turn. It is? Is it? It is. It is Yanis, isn't it?
Yeah.
I do apologise. I thought it was Carlotti. I've only been doing it a few seasons.
Yeah, no, he looks super tight through that first right-hander, holding it nice and smooth. You got to avoid all the rough patches to really carry the speed over that uphill. It's super techy. Nice through there.
This is one of the overtaking points, because you could just come on the inside and force your rider out on the right if you're brave enough to do it. But that rider on the right-hand side's got to commit. And you've got a quali line and you've got a race line out.
Massively.
So what we do here on our own is one thing. There's Yanis Markarian
flying
beautiful through. Supported by 9.81 skateboards, CDK, a shop, Riptide. Let's see him through. We've got the drone. Yeah, he's got that. He's nailed that.
That last right-hander, the riders have been saying it's definitely a bit of a goofy advantage, you know, it being a heel side. And you can see it there, just the fact he can fly in, shaves off the speed perfectly. Slightly overslid the line, so I'll be interested to see how what the time's saying, but it's really solid around.
Solid indeed. That looks like
That's Carlotti.
Carlotti's leathers, isn't it? Yeah, I just caught his eyes.
Yeah, it's that orange helmet.
Yeah, good spot. So Antoine Carlotti waiting to get his run underway. He was 10th in Erzincan. And this is your first WDSC race.
First WDSC event for me.
So. Got to come to Turkey next year as well, mate.
Dude, that's
you've obviously seen it. It's
like this on steroids. Super strong push from him.
Yeah, really strong.
Visor flipping down as he pushes. Wow.
Another regular footed rider.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how he takes this first corner. There's been a few people trying to do one toe, and a few like him doing the single heel and then gripping the toe. So he's gone for that approach. You really got to carry speed through that uphill.
Yeah, you've got to maintain it coming out. If you get it wrong coming in, you know, in the head-to-head racing, which is obviously our big focus over the weekend, you can lose that little bit of momentum, lose that top end, and this is a section where you can build the speed.
Yeah. He's gone for the air brake
grip.
Ooh. Haven't seen that before.
He's carried the speed. I think he got on it a little bit earlier, exiting that turn.
He definitely got the exit from that. Avoiding all the rough on the right side of the road, rider's right.
Into the chicane.
Oh, he's gripping it. Oh. Go on, make it stick. That is a wild line from Antoine.
Now he's able to pinch it more on the right and cut it tighter on the left and rides out with a bit of speed.
Phenomenal run.
Carlotti charging towards the line. We enjoyed that one.
Super good run. Interested to see where that comes up. 130.
Yeah, I'm just having one or two issues with the timing system at my end. They will all be correct somewhere on the farm.
Yeah.
They're just not working for me at the moment for open stand-up yet. We're just double-checking. We do think it's Gregor with the quickest 1:11.285. That could have been a 1:13 for Carlotti. It could be deceptive, can't it? Like, it can look really fast, but you can maybe lose a second or two here or there. So
yeah, it's really hard to know. That top section's super technical, and it's lose like 0.3, 0.4 of a second, and then even if you nail that last sweeper and last chicane, you could have lost it at the top.
So Bouclier, the championship leader out of France. There's so many good French riders.
Super stoked to see him skate.
This young man.
Really cool having a young rider who's absolutely flying.
On top of the pile in Erzincan. Can he go 2 from 2 this weekend?
Oh, he's going toe heel.
He's not ridden roads like this before, though.
No.
But he's quality. You all are.
Those Paris boys are built different, though. They
are. Did he carry much speed up over that? He's not got as much bulk as some of the riders, which can impact you just on that little climb. But he's fast. He's got the lines.
Nice. Goes for a little toe side scrub. Takes good exit around the outside. Super interesting to see how he takes this corner. He's tucking deep. He's tucking deep.
Carrying a lot of speed in. It's so steep as well through here. The camera's not showing you quite how steep it is. Big slide, all under control.
Such an impressive line.
I think he's carried some decent speed out of that line.
Doing that line with that pendy slide to go back on yourself, insane. Such insane board control.
And that's a great way to put it. The board control from Bouclier, we saw
it's another level, yeah.
So good.
He's one of those riders who just never looks out of shape.
Yeah. So I've got for you 1:14.442. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one.
Yeah, they're kind of like replacing as they go.
Yeah. In 9th place at the moment, according to the list. We'll see how that plays out at the end. So Q2 for yourself.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Well, we've seen the French riders really put on a show so far. But it's Schwab with the quickest time.
This is Benoit, I think, dropping in. Yeah. Good push from him.
Benoit Said gets the visor down. Yeah, you've got to get that strong push on, as you do in every race, but some tracks, of course, you can build the speed up. Here, you've got to be on it, because you want to be first in that first turn.
Be on it the whole time, and like as you're dropping in off that start gate, like, you can't see it on the drone, but you can't see the corner. There's a rise in the road, and you're like full pushing, you drop into tuck, and you got to wait till you clear the rise before you can even see where you're going, which is actually super fun, but kind of intimidating.
This whole hill is intimidating with that mountain at the top, and certainly from our view in the sheep trailer. Well, Benoit Said, his first WDSC race this season, didn't quite carry as much speed up the right out of turn 1.
No.
That's going to impact him.
Definitely one of the lighter riders. It's a lot harder. Like, obviously no other track has an uphill section, and it's very weird to ride. You know, everyone's kind of figuring out, like, okay, do we go, ooh, nice line from there. Like, you know, you got to try carry as much as you can, but it's interesting. Nice apex there.
A little bit lower top end, so he's able to run a nice line through there. He's building up his confidence on this hill.
Nicely done from Benoit.
It's a solid work from Benoit Said.
Ben Stainer on the line.
Trying to stop all my paperwork blowing away here, which is one of the issues we often have, or I often have. Used to working in air-conditioned commentary booths. First time for me in a sheep trailer. Love it. So Ben Stainer underway. Yeah, really got to get. Probably need more of a push there, but you know, there's differences in experience level. It's just great to have all these guys out racing today, and Ben Stainer out of the UK, based in London.
Absolutely lovely human being, super nice guy, and it's really cool to see him out here. You know, he was here when this was run back in 2014, I think. So it's changed a bit since then.
Certainly has, and all sorts happening in this sport as well, with our friends at Brinx TV coming in, supporting us. We're racing for the Brinx Cup this season.
Oh, slid a bit late there, but he's still carrying around.
You see, it takes all the speed off, doesn't it, in that turn?
It slightly goes uphill into that turn, so you can really like tank all your speed and then end up with nothing. But with this straight ahead of you, I don't blame you if you're trying to do that.
I think you said it's intimidating, isn't it? And you know, with this section here, go check us out on social media if you want to see a little bit more of this section. I'm sure the guys will have been out there filming it, because it doesn't look so steep on camera from what you guys are seeing, but literally from where we are, we're right at the finish looking up the hill, and it's just straight up in front of us.
Intimidating is the right word for it. That straight slowly drops away from you, and it's a hell of a straight.
So Ben Stainer crosses the line. Gets a good round of applause as well. Just double check his time as it comes in. Might have been a 1:31, but we'll see if that updates. Right now it's Gregor Schwab 1:11.285. Zugonakis 1:11.843. Harry Clark in third, and third to sixth all in the 1:12s. Harry Clark 1:12.184. Markarian 1:12.234. Bouclier 1:12.359. Paynell 1:12.578. Then it's Owen in seventh.
Stacked.
That's almost a second behind 1:13.523.
Yeah, I'm interested. Other than Harry, all those riders are goofy.
Harry's the only. Harry was telling me earlier he wanted to win the regular qualifying.
Wow, he has. That is time he has put down and absolutely stomped.
He's such a powerful rider as well. He's got an amazing start as Harry.
Yeah.
When you watch it again, you can enjoy the views of the valleys now in Wales. I think that is Q1 all done and dusted. So the top 12 from the stand-up going through, and looking through it, that would be Jack Plummer, who had his issues, just squeezed in with a 1:22.316. Ben just missing out. Olav having his problems.
Jack will be super happy to manage to get another run.
Just
redeem himself.
Squeezed in. It's a course that really could suit Jack, because we've seen last season in Turkey, the first time we went to Erzincan, how well he rode, and he's had a lot of time on the board over the years. Not so much recently with his injuries.
No, yeah, but he's super dialed now.
When he's dialed really in, when he's on, he's on it. Yeah,
super in balance. Really cool to watch. Very stoked how well he's doing.
And how much riding have you been doing over the past few months?
Decent amount.
Yeah. Where's your spots? So. Where do you like riding?
Ironically, around here, a lot of our locals are literally 10 miles away.
Tregaron.
Yeah, Tregaron, the event a couple weekends ago. So, yeah, a lot of fun, but nothing like this.
Well, you are in 9th place, according to our list. That's what we're looking at. I think you might need to get back to the top, mate.
Probably do.
Bumpy's been awesome. Come back and join us if you want. But, of course, best of luck. Try and get into that Q3.
Beautiful.
And,
thank you very much.
We'll mute your mic and we'll pop the cans down. Thank you so much, mate. Really appreciate you coming in and joining us. Well, that was our first look at the course, folks. It was really, really good to see these riders in Q1. We are going to Q2. The riders have got to make their way back up to the top of the hill. We're taking 6 lugers through. It was very, very tight in the luge. But whilst we're on a little gap between the runs, let's head to a quick break.
so they know my sweet baby loves me so. She got me going, yeah, she Tarmaseal is a smart seal product which can totally transform the look of any residential or commercial tarmac surface. Tarmaseal should not be confused with tarmac paint. Tarmaseal soaks into the surface of the tarmac and replaces lost resins, making it flexible and water resistant again. Application is easy and really fast with a roller kit, and for neat edges, use a paintbrush. Visit Smart Seal online or call us on 01268 722 500.
Welcome back, folks. We are getting ready for Q2. Hope you're enjoying all the action from round number 2 of the Brinx World Downhill Skateboarding Championship. We're in the qualifying session. We are getting the drones back in the air, and the lugers are about to start their second qualifying run. Top 6 in the luge going through to Q2. Colby Parks with the fastest time so far, 1:14.226. Ulrich Becker in second, 1:14.320. So little between them. Andy Spate in third, 1:15.102. Phil Spencer in fourth, 1:15.714. George Cheeseman in fifth, 1:15.949. And Dan Pirk from the Netherlands, 1:18.121. That is the top 6. Ian Martland and Josh Fieldwick missing out. Mark Wilson, unfortunately injured in the practice session. We wish Mark all the best for his recovery. Hopefully we see Mark again on the circuit at some point. Of course, this is all fighting out for pole position, but it doesn't mean, once we get into the head-to-head racing, that the likes of Ian Martland and Josh Fieldwick are going to miss out, because they'll just have a tougher draw. Simple as that. They can still win the race, but they can't win qualifying now. Our top 6 are going to get cut down to 4 in this luge, and then we'll do it all again for run number 3. So the lugers are all up there, just waiting to get us going again. That is the view out of the start, the beautiful terrain in this part of the world. We do treat you, don't we, to some lovely scenery wherever we go on the Brinx World Downhill Skateboarding Championship. We're in Pontyfendergrade, village in Credegon in Wales. I do apologise if I've not quite said that right. On the western flank of the Cambrian Mountains, between Devil's Bridge and Tregaron, a name that is familiar, I'm sure, to many of you in the scene. There's some old ruins of an abbey just southeast of the village that was founded in 1164. There you go, and lots goes on. The Cistercian Strata Florida Abbey is what I'm talking about. Enough talk about abbeys. I can do that more. I've got lots of info for you, but we want to focus on the racing. Dan Peek from the Netherlands just snuck in with his 1:18.121. Looking at the times of those ahead of him, he might have to go a little bit quicker if he wants to get into Q2. Let's see if he can manage it. That is the task at hand, and Peek underway. Gets Q2 moving. See a slight variation in his luge to some of the others. He's got the 4 wheels on the front, the 2 on the back. Can he better that first run time of 1:18.121? Of course, the rider's getting more and more experience with every single run on this tough hill. It's not the easiest of places to race, but nor should it be, because this is the top of the sport. It's a very, very different challenge to what we had in Turkey, but that is what we want to bring you. We want to bring you different tests, different challenges, different venues from around the world, and Wales is delivering. It is green, it is beautiful. And Peek on the long straight. These lugers pick up some serious speed through this section into this hairpin. They've got to work so hard through the chicane. And he's worked it there. Is he just going to hang on? He avoids the hay bales. But a bit of speed scrubbed away for Dan Peek. And as soon as I get a time for him, I will bring it to you. His Q1 time was 1:18.121. Next up is George Cheeseman from the UK 1:15.914. So George needs to get ahead of Phil Spencer. It's the times that from Q2 that matter. You forget about the Q1 times now, folks. They are done. That is just to get you into Q2. All that matters in this section is the Q2 times. So George Cheeseman getting underway. Man out of the UK. Big up the UK lugers for stepping it up and helping us build the field here in the luge category. Great to have what would have been 9 lugers. After Mark's injury, we've got 8 lugers in the field here. Oh, and George clipping the bales! He goes for a visit to the countryside. Big problems for George. He's going to get going again. Looks to be okay on his feet quickly. And this is what can happen so quickly in this sport. Whatever track you're on, you've got to be so precise with your lines. And that shows you the uphill section. It's not a lot of uphill, but it just adds to the test. Man out of London in the UK. Trying to think of some of the great roads around, maybe like Crystal Palace Park and Dulwich area, where you could go for a bit of a late night skate or luge. Used to do a bit of cycling in that part of the world. There's some short, steep hills around there. So disappointment for George Cheeseman with that fall. It'll see. I don't have a time for Dan yet, but George is going to be dropping into second place of the 2 riders in Q2. But of course, we don't know what can happen with the 4 riders still to come. So George Cheeseman is going to finish his run. A little bit disappointed, I'm sure. But he's still got the head-to-head racing to come. Phil Spencer next up. He's moved heaven and earth to get to this race. We love his commitment. Finished 7th in the opening round in Erzincan. That was his first big race. So just a little challenge bringing you some times, but Phil Spencer's on the luge, that SP8 board. Done a lot of free ride not far away from here in Tregaron. Actually broke a rib in Tregaron. Let's hope he doesn't break any ribs today, touch wood. So Phil Spencer underway in 4th place after Q1. George Cheeseman's had his fall. Dan Peark has put his run down, so has a time on the board. Phil Spencer hanging on through the first turn. Now the little climb. Get that neck down a little bit, Phil. But you got to see where you're going. Not easy. And these guys are so close to the ground on the luge. Setting up for the hairpin. Sits up using the feet for brakes. Pinches it round nicely. You've got to release here. Try and get that speed going. Be so smooth and precise through this long straight section. Now the brakes go on. Phil sitting up. Trying to line that board up. Pinching it again. Just missing the apex slightly there, but it's a solid run from Phil Spencer. And I'll bring you the time when we get it. A 1:15.836. Not quite as quick as Q1, but he goes into top spot right now in Q2. That will see him through. Dan Peark with a 1:17.715. So that was a good improvement. Knocking 0.3 of a second off of his Q1 time. George Cheeseman getting a 1:49.543. And he did have that fall though. So if Cheeseman wants to get in to Q3, he's going to need some mistakes from those still to come. So Andy Spate didn't have the 3rd quickest time behind Ulrich Becker and Colby Parks. Spate with a 1:15.102 in run 1. He's a big guy. He's a powerful guy, and I like the line he's taken through that first turn. Again, just trying to avoid any unnecessary steering through that uphill section. Get those wheels working straight. Point down the hill and then set up for the key turn. Spate working hard with the upper body through, and he carries some really nice speed. Gets that back flat, his head as low as possible, just peering out the visor. But he knows what's coming here. Those brakes are on. And Andy Spate has been on the WDSC podium in the past. Through the chicane. Switching from right to left. Nice exit from Andy Spate. The fastest time so far, 1:15.836 in Q2. And Andy Spate crosses the line. 1:15.348 for Spate. It is quicker than Spencer. Not as fast as Q1, but he's in the lead. And Andy Spate confirmed as progressing into the 3rd and final qualifying run here for the Street Lugers. Ulrich Becker. He's on the start line, waiting for the command to get us moving. So Ulrich Becker underway, 2nd quickest time. A 1:14.320. Less than a 10th, just less than a 10th of a second slower than Colby Parks in Q1. But it's all down to the Q2 times now to get into Q3. He's carried some good speed out of that first turn. And Ulrich Becker, 3rd in the opening round of the series in Erzincan. Any of you are watching in Erzincan, let us know. We loved visiting that part of the world for round number 1. It's great to have support of the people of Erzincan, and it's great to have the support of Wales for this race. First WDSC Brinx World Downhill Skateboarding Championship race in the United Kingdom. And Ulrich Becker. See those wheels smoking through the chicane. You've got to be active. You've got to be dynamic through that turn. And Becker driving towards the line. Solid effort from Ulrich Becker. His Q1 time was a 1:14.320, 1:12.273. I'll read that again, 1:12.273. Becker absolutely annihilating the field in Q2. There's one man to go in Q2 in Luge. It's Mr. Colby Parks, our Canadian luging supremo. Championship leader right now. And he gets underway. He's got a good start. He's from all his years of weightlifting, powerlifting. Powers out of the gate, out of the start line. Just an adjustment of the gloves. Gets the visor down. And now the speed builds into turn one. Sat up with purpose. Carries speed nicely. Now Ulrich Becker really nailed that first turn in Q2. And it set him up for a great run over the rise. Down into the sweeping right-hander. It's a fun turn, but you know what's to come here. Colby Parks. Clean line. Keeping it low as you have to do in luge. It's all about your braking zone. Where's the braking point? How late can you push it? Wait. No, brake. And Parks is doing that. That was clean. Little wobble there. Bet we've seen the same from Becker. Through the chicane. That tree's right in the way, isn't it? We're not going to cut it down because we love the trees. And Parks, last luger in Q2. 1:12.273, the time to beat. Let's wait. 1:13.816. It's quicker, but it's not quick enough. So after Q2 in the luge, it's Becker, Parks, Spate, and Spencer. Becker, Parks, Spate, and Spencer, who progress into Q3. Dan Peart, George Cheeseman miss out on Q3. It's just the top four. We've got 16. We started off with 16 lugers in Q1. With that 16 stand-up riders in Q1. We're in Q2. We've got the top 12. Jack Plummer had a bit of a fall, didn't he? But he snuck in. Got to put that behind him. He'll have learned from it. A great rider. Love to see him at 100% fitness. He's not quite there yet, but he's obviously getting back to something like his best. We wait for the command from Mr. Stevenson, and Jack Plummer gets Q2 underway for the open stand-up, powering away. Regular-footed rider on a course that many are saying suits the goofy footers, just with the braking zone and the slides. Manages turn one nicely. Just making that climb. Try and get as low as you can. And Jack, one of the taller riders on the circuit. He's got a lot of power, but a lot of finesse as well. Well, it was going well in Q1 up to this point. He had a really solid few practice runs on this hill. Great position for Plummer. Now he's got to get it right here. He's coming into this so steep through this section. Runs it wide. He's got to avoid those bales on the right-hand side. He's done it. Big improvement in the run for Jack Plummer. This is what he wants, and a nice change up from Q1 to Q2. Much more like it, avoiding any trouble. Bring you the time when we get it. Benoit Said next up. A 1:13.699 for Jack. That sets the pace in Q2. So Benoit Said next up. 1:21. .464 his first run time. Another rider that had one or two issues. He is going to be hoping to put them behind him on this second qualifying run. We are taking the top 8 through to Q3. That is where you need to be. First to 8th, and you'll run again in qualifying. He's out of Paris, France. PhD researcher. Rides a land yachts board. Also used to take part in Ultimate Frisbee. Fun sport if you've ever played it. So coming into this chicane. Almost seen some sunshine. Would you believe it? We almost had some sunshine. Someone bring me the factor 50. And Benoit Said crosses the line. So the fastest time in Q2, that 1:13.699 from Jack Plummer. That is going to stay in top spot for the time being. .123.359 for Benoit Said. Two riders gone so far. Next rider underway. Now I think it is Micaiah Harness, from the US. Supported by Harness Chiropractic. Based out of Colorado these days. Originally from Wisconsin. It's his second Brinx World Downhill Skateboarding Championship event. Finished 8th in round 1 in Erzincan. Really nice result for the American. Of course, we're heading to the USA for round 3 of the championship this season. That's coming up in October. Again, it's all about getting into that top 8 for Q3. Gets the brakes on. Smooth stuff from Harness. Job done for Micaiah. So we've had 3 riders bringing the time for Micaiah. It's a 1:15.215. Leading at the moment, Jack Plummer, 1:13.699. Next up should be Bumpy. So Bumpy Hale's waiting. It looks like Gaz is he's managed to find Jack Plummer for a quick chat. So I'll hand over to Gaz, who's got Jack Plummer now.
with Jack Plummer in the finish area. You're currently in top spot on the second run. You crashed in the first round of qualification. How was the mental state going into that second run?
Well, I'm not surprised I crashed. You guys probably not surprised I crashed because it's something I do on a regular basis. But I was able to get over that mental hump and put down a clean time. So at the end of the day, I'm happy.
You're feeling a little bit more confident, hopefully getting through to that Q3 stage. Now you've settled the nerves again and ready to race because it's your first race in quite some time, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been about 4 months. And, well, actually, no, I did a race in Wales actually 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I should. Yeah. But I don't know if I'll make top 8. I don't know if it was my fastest time on the hill, but I think it's good enough. Maybe. We'll see. I'm not disappointed if I don't make top 8. I'm happy with that clean run.
Perfect. Have you figured out your tactics for the race later on? Obviously got to keep some things under wraps, but you've been through the course a couple times now. What are your tactics looking like for when we get through to those knockout stages?
I think it's pretty obvious on this hill that it's like if you can stay confident and send it at the same time and find that balance, then you're going to win. And if you can, just take the line and push out in front, then you're going to win, I think. And I think that's a lot of people's tactics here. Because it's two-man racing, it's a lot different. I think it's not going to be the same as 4-man heats at all. And it's going to be, it's really easy to decide, I think, who the winner is, I think.
Perfect. Well, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see you in Q3, but we'll pass you back to Ian Finley in the commentary box for the next race.
Thanks, Gaz. Thanks, Jack. Best of luck, Jack, for squeezing into Q3. We'll have to wait and see how it all plays out, but it's great to have Jack back racing again on the circuit. Good to see him again. So we're getting ready for the next man to go. I think it was going to be our first commentary buddy of the weekend. Bumpy Hales should be up next. They had that 1:14.442. Just checking through some of the times from Q3 so far. Yeah, Jack in the lead, as we said. 1:13.699. Micaiah Harness, 1:15.215 for Micaiah. Ready to race again. So here we go. Next rider underway. It is Bumpy. So Bumpy Hales, can he get in to Q3? That first run time from Bumpy, that 1:14.442. You'll need to maybe go a little bit quicker. Handles it nicely. Again, knows the Welsh roads. Hasn't raced here before. We heard from him on the mic, which was really great to get the riders' insight on commentary. We'll try and keep bringing you some more riders as and when we can get them. Maybe we'll find someone after Q2 for you. Decent line from Hales through the hairpin. Keeping it very, very tight on the straight. You know, if the races are close going into in the finals, then this section is going to be key. Gets the break in early. And again, coming into the chicane. Good entry to double apex, isn't it? Solid run from Bumpy. He's got to be happy with his riding so far this weekend. 1:13.699, the leading time from Jack Plummer. Bumpy Hales. As soon as that time flashes up, I'm going to bring it to you. Looks like you can see Antoine Carlotti just waiting. So the time for Bumpy Hales, 1:14.735. Just a little slower than run number one. Not a lot in it. They've got to wait and see if they are going to be in the top 8 come the end of this second qualification run. Q2 here in Wales. Carlotti warming up. I'll say it again. It is just all about the times from Q2 that matter. So Antoine Carlotti gets himself moving. 10th in Erzincan in round number 1. Needs a big result here this weekend in Wales to move up the standings. Great exit to turn 1. Now you've got to keep it low. So Carlotti carries some good speed onto the straight section. The hairpin negotiated. Now it is the chicane. Liking that from Carlotti. There's a lot of style in his run, as there always is. He scrubbed a lot of speed off. You have to do that. You can hear some of the crowd getting into it. Has he scrubbed too much speed off? There's your 1, 2, 3, 4 right now. And Carlotti crosses the line. Well, the crowd enjoying it. We enjoyed it. We always enjoy watching Carlotti's run. He goes into second place with a 1:13.992. Getting ready for the next rider. There's your top 5 on the left-hand side. Owen Fox on the start line. Tricking me by changing his leathers again. Why has he not got Fox written across his back? Used to be dead easy to spot. Well, now we know Owen, the man out of Santa Barbara, California. He won Soldiers of Downhill in 2023. 6th in Erzincan. Picked up an injury the first time we went to Erzincan in 2023. Joined me in the commentary box. Did a wonderful job in the box. A 1:13.523 for Owen Fox in run number 1 in Q1. If he matches that time, he'll go into the lead. It's still Jack Plummer leading right now. Fox got to get low through the straight. Place in Q3 up for grabs for the American. Prism Skate Co., Venom Skate Wheels, Rogue Trucks, Enox Bearings, his sponsors. Really nice line from Fox. And Fox stops the clock. Where is he going to place? And it's the quickest time in Q2 so far. A 1:13.250. Not much in it, but Owen Fox leads in Q2 for now. 1:13.250. So he has his place confirmed in Q3. Paynell, second in Erzincan. What can he do here? A 1:12.578 for Paynell. So here we go into turn number 1 for the man known as Frenchie. So difficult for the riders on this uphill section. The 23-year-old, sponsored by Seismic Skate Tech, Madrid Skateboards, Becker Foot Brake Soles. Paynell into the Hairpin. Also supported by lock foot stops as well. Again, he looks like he's carried some nice speed out of the hairpin onto the straight. Air braking before the chicane. Pinches the line. That is risky, that is brave, but that is what brings you success. Very quick coming out of the chicane, and Paynell looking to go into top spot here. And the Frenchman completes the run, and it's a 1:12.031. He takes over in the lead. New fastest time by some margin as well, knocking over half a second off of his time. He leads in Q2. Fox in second, Plummer in third, Carlotti in fourth, Hales in fifth. In the lead by over a second. We've still got Bouclier, he's next to come. Then Markarian, Harry Clark, Zuganakis, and the leader after Q1, Gregoire Schwab. So Bouclier, victorious in Erzincan. Will he be the winner in Wales? Well, a long way to go in this competition and just in qualifying. But for a young rider, he's got so much style, so precise on the board. Handles this terrain well. Just small adjustments, small moves into this little sweeping right-hander here. Leaves the brake in late, manages the speed nicely, exits well. Using all of the road to maintain the speed through this section. Bouclier on a charge, as he always is in Q2. We're fighting for spots in Q3 in the all-important pole position, because I think in the head-to-head racing, that starting lane is going to be key. It's just two at a time as well. That was nice from Bouclier. It is going to be close, and he is coming through, crosses the line, and Bouclier versus Paynell. It's Bouclier, 1:11.640. That was fast. That was very fast. Second quickest time on the hill today, but it's the Q2 time that matters, and Bouclier going through the gears here. France in first and second in the Brinx World Downhill Skateboarding Championship qualifying session so far. But it can all change around, folks. You know that. Once we get into Q3, that is where it really, really counts. You've got to do what you do to get there, and then fight for that pole position. Yanis Markarian now supported by 9.81 Skateboard, CDK Shop, Riptide Bushings, Nemo Pucks. Great first run from Markarian with a 1:12.234. Pinches that first turn. See the riders all wearing GoPros. You've got to watch for our highlights show to drop. Might be a couple of weeks or so after the event, and you can catch some of that GoPro footage as well. We just keep teasing you. Yeah, I hope you're enjoying the live stream wherever you're watching. But afterwards, there's going to be even more content for you, because we love you all and we want to bring you as much content as possible. And Markarian on an absolute charge here. He is carrying some serious speed into the hairpin. It's the risk-reward game through here. Gets that exit now. He makes that move on the... Oh, that was beautiful from Markarian. Really used the road well. And Markarian crosses the line. Where is he going to place? It's third for Markarian. Another strong run. But it's Bouclier still in the lead with a 1:11.640. Markarian with a 1:12.891. A little bit slower than his first run of 1:12.243. 3 to go on Q2. Missed the Harry Clark. Sydney's finest. He got the last plane out of Sydney to get here. He didn't. I just wanted to reference one of my favourite songs. So, Harry Clark, underway. Supported by Madrid Skateboards, Venom Skate, Road Trucks. Big slide, regular footed rider. First run time for Clark, 1:12.184. It was good enough for third in Q1. But Bouclier, he's moved the dial, hasn't he? 1:11.640. The fastest time in Q2. Is Clark going to go through the gears? He knows he's got enough to get in to Q3. So there's a little bit of tactics. Do you hold something back? Do you try something out? You don't want to take too much risk, but you need to take some because you don't want to miss out on Q3. Stylish as ever from Clark. Power where it needs to be. Precision where it needs to be. Runs it a little low towards the bales there. Might have scrubbed some speed off. We'll have to wait and see. Bouclier's time, 1:11.640. Clark crosses the line. And Harry Clark into third place. Well, Bouclier is the man that has made the big move in Q2. But of course, it's all going to come down to Q3. We've got 2 riders to go. Zuganakis and, of course, Gregor Schwab. Zuganakis, 1:11.843 from Q1, with Schwab, 1:11.285. And now we've got Bouclier with that 1:11.640. So Zuganakis underway. 9.81 skateboards. Riptide, Tessier Technique, and Best Bagel Leon. That is where, whenever I'm in Leon, I get all of my bagels from. And you should too. Aggressive from the Frenchman. Over the rise for Zuganakis. Really hugging the right-hand side of the road there, going for a little bit of air brake and moves over to the right-hand side. Gets a really strong line. Carries some good speed out of the hairpin in a great tuck position as well. Hands clenched behind the back. That is a picture-perfect tuck from Zuganakis. There's the slide in here. Grabs the inside of the road and works across, then back out to the right-hand side. Bouclier, 1:11.640. And Zuganakis goes into top spot. 1:11.504. A rapid time for the Frenchman. Quicker than his first run time. Bouclier down to second. Paynel in third. Clark in fourth. We've still got one man to go. Carlotti's on the bubble in eighth. Jack Plummer's through to Q3. So Anton Carlotti watching on to see what the Swiss superstar can do here. Gregor Schwab underway, 21-year-old. Scooper Energy, Peak Punk, 88 wheels. BWE is sponsors. Was he quite as tight as Zuganakis exiting the first turn? I'm not sure, but we know Greg can make up time on this type of hill. He's showing great skill in Q1, handling this challenging surface. Oh, that was nice, but was it as quick as Zuganakis? Well, only the clock will tell us, but let's enjoy the pictures racing through the beautiful Welsh countryside as Q2 is about to come to a close. Oh, he's going aggressive here. He's going deep into the hairpin. The brakes are on now. It's about trying to get that release and get the line and build the speed up. Schwab approaching the finish line. And the Swiss athlete goes into top spot. Would you believe it? A 1:10.680. I'll say it again, 1:10.680 for Schwab. Absolutely rapid from Schwab. Unbelievable. He wins Q2, our top 8 going through to Q3. Schwab, Zouganakis, Bouclier, Paynell, Clark, Markarian, Fox and Plummer. That is your top 8. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with more from Wales very soon.
so they know my sweet baby loves me so. She got me going, yeah, she turns me on. And she loves me, yeah, she loves me, and it blows my mind. And it's so cool. Such a time destroyer. Such a time destroyer.
Tarmaseal is a smart seal product which can totally transform the look of any residential or commercial tarmac surface. Tarmaseal should not be confused with tarmac paint. Tarmaseal soaks into the surface of the tarmac and replaces lost resins, making it flexible and water resistant again. Application is easy and really fast with a roller kit. And for neat edges, use a paintbrush. Visit SmartSeal online or call us on 01268 722 500.
Hey folks, welcome back along to Wales round 2 of the Brinx World Downhill Skateboarding Championship. We're through the qualifying session, just Q3 still to come. And let's hand over to Gaz, who's got one of the riders that had a little bit of a problem earlier on today, Olav Oi.
Thank you very much, Ian. Yeah, stood here at the bottom with Olav. You had a very heavy slam in run 1. Talk us through it. What went wrong and how are you feeling now?
Well, this track is, there's not really one really obvious way to skate it. There's a bunch of options. So I've been trying out different maneuvers, and the practice before my quali I actually managed to get a really fast line through this last chicane. And I was feeling really confident that I could pull that off again, and I just did a tiny variable that was not the same, and it just made me come too close to the edge of the road and then just high side when I gripped up and slammed. Yeah, it was a pretty bad slam.
It looked super heavy. You got a little bit of a free ride down after Q2. Did that help settle things ahead of the rest of the day of racing?
Well, yeah, I wanted to get some redemption on that free ride afterwards, but it actually, I kind of messed up in the same spot. I tried to slide over the left side of this extra patch of pavement, which was really rough, and that was not a good idea either. So yeah, I'm still testing. I'm a bit slow to learn this track, it seems. It's not really my kind of track. It's a lot of sharp turns where you have to brake a lot. I prefer going fast and then gripping turns and build up a bit of momentum. That's more my thing. Yeah.
So a little bit different to that race in Turkey. What goes through your mind? Two very different tracks, two very different setups. What goes through your mind when you're going through those practice days and just really working out what your line's going to be? Tell me what you're thinking as you're going through that bit.
Well, yeah, you really want to use that first day to practice and find your perfect line, I guess. Find what's working for you. And yeah, with this track, it's kind of confusing because some of the turns you don't really have to brake. So you could brake in that turn, or you could brake after the turn, which is, it's kind of a man game learning this track for me. In Turkey, it was more obvious, okay, you come into this turn, you have to slide, and then you grip it, and this turn you don't slide, and yeah. So it's a learning experience, and I think that's fun. Yeah.
Amazing. So we've got 8 riders left in the final stage of qualification. Who do you reckon this track suits the most out of those riders? Who do you think is going to come away with pole position?
I think we got a lot of potential candidates. We got Greg, super fast, super solid, all-around technical rider. We got Frenchie, also super technical. And Alex, also like he's like a smaller rider, so I would say a track like this fits him really well. Really good at technical sliding, yeah. But you got to watch out for Andreas, the young gun who won in Turkey. He's dangerous. I mean, he's super consistent and doesn't really mess up. So, and of course, actually, now that I think about it, we have to watch out for Harry, because Harry has a mean push. He can push off the line like, I don't know, like a drag car. He almost gets like skid marks on his feet from pushing out. So if you push out first on this track, you'll have a solid advantage because it's so narrow. Yeah. So trying to make it pass, it's going to be really, really hard. So yeah, pushing out first is going to be the tactic here.
So you reckon the races, they're going to be won right at the start? Whoever's fastest off the line into that first corner with the lead gets the advantage and just try hang on all the way through? Is that how it's going to look, do you reckon?
It might be. I mean, we haven't really skated much in groups yet. And I mean, it's going to be two-man heats anyways, so we'll see. But I reckon maybe in that little uphill section, there's room to like maybe draft a little or pass. But it's going to be really tight, so pushing out first is going to be the move. Yeah.
Well, fingers crossed you get another chance to free ride him maybe, settle the nerves, and good luck when we get through to the knockout races. And thanks for the time.
Thank you. See you guys.
And back to Ian in the commentary box, building up to run Q3.
There's the scene at the top of the mountain. Still riders making their way back up, but we don't actually have to shut the road down because there's another route back to the top and then go up in a minibus, which means saves us sending vehicles up the track, of course. Another great thing about this venue here. Well, Will's up there, all on his lonesome right now. All the fun's happening at the bottom of the course. But we'll be getting the racing underway in a few moments' time. It looks like the riders are nearing the start, but whilst they're getting themselves ready, let's head over to Gaz, who's managed to grab another interview, this time with Benoit Said. So over to you, Gaz.
Hey, I'm here at the bottom with Benoit. Benoit, talk us through those qualification runs. How was it for you?
It was good. It was good. Started doing like a very good run for me in Q1. Got like pretty happy with my time, and then second qualifying session, I just like slid too much, broke just shaved up way too much speed through the corners. So yeah, just like once you're like too slow at the apex, just like carrying that like lack of speed all the way down the straight. So yeah, no, but happy to be here still. It's good. I think I'm qualified 11th, and it's pretty good.
Amazing. You talk about that breaking point. How did you figure out? Is that just kind of a bit of feel, a bit of like trust in your gut instinct, or have you figured that out on the practice days?
Exactly. It's very much gut instinct. It's just like see like what speed you arrive at the corner, and like trying to be like, okay, this is like a good patch of like tarmac I can do my slide on, and just like doing it there, gripping up and then going.
And what sort of preparation did you do coming into this race? Any different to the preparation for any other races? Was there anything particularly? It's a very kind of tight, windy hill.
Yeah, the kind of preparation that I did was to go on a narrow spot, which was like small twists. And I just worked on my like high-speed pre-drifting technique, trying to shave off as little speed as possible. But this one is much steeper, so everything like goes like out of the window. Is just like survival and managing to keep your line and getting everything clean as much as you can. So yeah.
Yeah, I think the cleanliness is key. Like, it's such a balance point on the knife edge of keeping the speed but still making the turn, etc. Are you looking forward to that aspect when it gets head-to-head racing? Is it going to be a little bit something in your mind that there's other riders on the track? Kind of what's your preparation for the finals?
Yeah, racing is going to be definitely interesting. I think it's going to be very crucial to get a good start and then to manage to keep the other person behind. But yeah, most of it is going to be at the start and then not making mistakes. Then after, the track is very narrow, very technical, so it's going to be very challenging, but also very nice to watch the top guys being able like to pull out some overtakes there.
Perfect.
Well, we'll head over to Ian in the commentary box for Q3. Thanks so much for talking to us, and good luck when we get to the racing stage.
Thank you. See ya.
Over to you, Ian.
We are ready to go, folks, with Q3 in the luge. And it's Phil Spencer on the start line. Had some good times so far in the 115s. This is where it counts, though. The fight for pole position for the head-to-head racing. It's going to be interesting to find out where the riders want to start from. Do you want to be on the left-hand side of the road, or do you want to be on the right-hand side of the road? That is one of the key questions for the riders tactically for this race. Once we get into the head-to-head later on the weekend. So Phil Spencer gets himself underway on the SP8 board. To the 2 wheels at the back, 4 at the front. And Phil Spencer's been riding so well this week in Wales. Knows the Welsh roads. Cranks it over. What can Phil Spencer do? Colby Parks has been quick on this hill. He is the fastest man. But Phil Spencer in Q3 battling it out. He's got Andy Spate ahead of him after Q2. But it all comes down to the Q3 times. If you make a mistake, that is it. You won't drop out of the top 4. But you're not going to get in the top 3 or higher if you come off the board. So these 4 riders just ranked within themselves. And then it'll be the riders that missed out after Q2 from 5th all the way back down through the Q3 riders as well. That's how the seedings will work. Another strong run from Phil Spencer. Runs it very tight. And Spencer cranks it over the finish line. And once we get the times, we'll of course let you know. So good work. Again, a 1:14.754 from Phil Spencer. He sets the benchmark. It's over to his mentor. One of our talking heads, media representative, global superstar of street luge, Andy Spate. Now travels with a full wardrobe, makeup, everything, just in case he's got any more TV interviews to do. And rightly so, Andy Spate powering off the start line. Gets that visor down, gets down low for turn number 1. 1:14.754, the time to beat for Spate. Sits up strong. You've got to really work that board round that first turn. And here is where it's so tricky. A unique section of the course, just with that little rise. We like to keep everyone on their toes and testing everybody. Now, can Phil Spencer see off Andy Spate here? It was a really strong run from Spencer. Spate into the hairpin. Such a testing hill. So much bite on it. You cannot make a mistake. You can lose so much time quickly on this hill. This is the straight. Get those soles down and brake. Andy Spate sitting up tall. Cranks it over on the right hand side. Really pinched it on the first part of the turn. It's now head down for the finish line. Spate crosses the line. Another clean run from Andy Spate from the UK. Out of Yorkshire. Did have the white rose on his suit. Has he still got the white rose on his suit? I'll have to double check. Proud Yorkshireman. I think he does have the white rose on his suit. It's a 1:15.703 for Andy Spate. The torch has been passed to Phil Spencer. What a run at 1:14.754. Andy Spate's got to stop giving him such good boards. Fantastic, though. Andy will be happy for Phil, that is for sure. Phil is getting quicker and quicker with every single competition run that he does. Now, getting underway. It is Colby Parks. Ulrich Becker with an absolute flyer in Q2. Now, can Colby Parks respond? 1:14.754 the target. Parks sitting up tall, working his way round. He's so dynamic through that first turn. Really carries the speed out of the exit, and it's helping him over this uphill section. The top end speed higher. And now the speed builds again. Parks just nudging that board where it needs to go. Just little movements. Sets up on the right-hand side of the road, moves across, hits that apex, work it out to the right-hand side. And now drive down the straight, looking ahead. The chicane is still to come. And Colby Parks can just see his head through the trees outside of the commentary box. Oh, a little mistake, Colby! Oh, how did he hang on? Is he still on that board? Yes, he is just about, but huge moment for Colby Parks there. And that is what this course can do. A shake of the head, but he stayed upright. We'll clip that one up for you later because that was dramatic. Still a lightning quick time, 1:14.094, but he was in a minor spot of bother there. Fair to say. But he still has the lead. One man to go. It's going to be Parks or Becker for pole position. Ulrich Becker knows he's got the ability to go quicker than a 1:14. But as we saw from Colby, anything can happen on this road. It's a short hill, just over a kilometre at 1.2 k's in length. But it is testing, it is tough. And Becker to bring the Luge qualification, not the open stand-up as it says on the graphic. Do apologise there. Of course, this is Street Luge, and that was a delicious turn from Becker. Like Colby, carries the speed well out of turn 1. He's got the 8 wheels on the board. He's really got this hill dialed in, hasn't he? Colby Parks is the championship leader. Ulrich Becker in third after that third place finish in round number 1 in Erzincan, Turkey. But it was coming in to this section here that Colby Parks had that little wobble at high speed. Right here, no problem for Becker. Becker absolutely on it in qualifying, but of course racing asks some different questions. The time for Ulrich Becker just waiting on it. It's a 1:12.988. Rapid stuff. Ulrich Becker takes pole position here at the Brinx World Downhill Skateboarding Championship. Parks in second, Spencer in third, Spate in fourth. It means Ulrich Becker throughout the race is going to have first lane choice. First pick, you can go on the left-hand side or the right-hand side. Where do you want to be? I think you've got to trust your start. I like being on the left-hand side. If you trust your start, you can get that line. But if the guy on the right is quick, well, it's tricky. It's all going to come down to the push, isn't it? So, open stand-up. 8 riders waiting at the top of the hill.
I think we're waiting for the timing to be fixed somehow. Something wrong with timing.
So, just making sure we got 1 or 2 gremlins out of the system before we crack on with the Q3 for the open stand-up. And of course there's only one man that you wanted to hear from after that Q3 in the Street Luge. He's upright, he stayed on his board. Let's go over to Gaz, who's got Colby Parks.
Thanks, Ian. So Colby, that was one hell of a save today. Talk us through what went on in that moment.
Well,
I was feeling really good coming into the kink, and I was going way faster than I usually have. I put on fresh wheels for that run. And coming into that kink, I must have hit a bump or a pebble or something. I got a bit of a slide on, kind of like David did in Turkey. And I slid, and my board high-sided under me, and it was just wobbling. I was just trying to get back on it, and I was just trying to slow down enough that I made that corner, because I know going into that corner too fast is not a good idea. So I managed to pull it down just enough that I got it under control, and I was able to slide it a bit and make the corner, but wow. And I just saw I still got second place, so that's great.
Still an incredibly quick time, so it must have showed how much speed went into that top part of the course. So are you feeling good now? You're into second place, going into the knockouts. Like, gives you a pretty good lane choice. What's your kind of thoughts around that lane choice coming into these races?
Well, I'm not sure. Lane choice would be really crucial if you're side by side going in. I think that first run will be long enough that the guys who can push really well will be able to choose wherever they want going into there, but it's going to be tactical battle going in that first corner, because you never know. Like, you could slide a bit and just go a little too fast. The guy from behind can judge and just go a little bit faster than you, and that next section is the uphill, and that's the place where the pass is probably going to be made for the win, I'm guessing.
I guess we'll find out really shortly. We'll go on to the Stand-Up Q3, and good luck when we get through to the races.
Thank you.
Great to hear from Colby after that huge moment. And thanks, Kaz, for grabbing, and the crew for grabbing Colby, because we really wanted to hear from him after a huge speed wobble. We're getting ready for Q3. We are ready for Q3. The battle for pole position. Round 2 of the Brinx World Downhill Skateboarding Championship. Jack Plummer powers away out of the start. Gets that left foot, regular footed rider at the front of the board. Really stepped it up in Q2, did Jack, and squeezed in 8th place, but he's got a little more to come. He's really looking comfortable on this hill, about as comfortable as you can look on this hill, because it is tough. So, Plummer, based down in Sussex, wants me to give a big shout out to all the folks at Goodwood. Just those little adjustments to get into the tuck position. Sometimes it is those little things that can cost you 1/100th of a second or so. Going for the air brake in. Big slide in. Managing the speed through. Approaching the hairpin. All controlled so far from Jack Plummer. Taking a bit of risk here, trying to let it run out. He's going to be close to the bales, almost riding in the loose hay. There's been a few riders over the course of the week in those bales, and Plummer with a clean run. And he will now have to sit back and see a 1:12.078 from Jack Plummer. That is what he came to put down. That's put the pressure on those 7 riders that are at the top of the hill. Jack Plummer's quickest time of the day. He was a 1:13.699. He's knocked so much off of that, over a second and a half off of his time. So Jack Plummer leads. Next up, Owen Fox, the California kid. I'm just going to make up nicknames for him. So, Owen Fox, another regular footed rider. Gets set on that board, gets the visor down. Fox with a 1:13.250 in Q2, his quickest time. But Jack Plummer has stepped it up. Big slide from Fox coming into the turn. But he releases early, gets that exit speed, which you need on this straight for that little rise. And it's coming up here that you're just wanting to hit the downhill again. It feels slow over the rise. It's going to be key in the head-to-head racing later on in the weekend. All good through the hairpin. These guys are getting in tune with this track. We are riding the dragon. These guys are taming the dragon here in Wales. But it's all going to go up a notch once we get into the head-to-head racing. Fox just managing the speed nicely. Coming into this chicane. Runs it a little late there, but he's maybe not quite had as much speed as he would like exiting. We'll have to see. It's all over to the clock. And Owen Fox into second place, 1:12.387 for Owen Fox. Not quite as quick as Q2, but some consistent riding from the American. So Plummer in top spot right now. Yanis Markarian next up for France. 1:12.234, his best time. That came in Q1. He was a 1:12.891 in Q2. So here we go, Markarian underway. Goofy-footed rider. Can he drop his time? Can he get into the 1:11s? He's certainly capable of it. Like that from the Frenchman. Gets out of that turn into the tuck position early. Really about keeping low, keeping it clean through here. No unnecessary movements. Now the speed starts to build again. You've got to hug the right-hand side of the road. I think it's a big overtaking point here once we get into the head-to-head racing. And Markarian now has the chicane in his sights. Carries a lot of speed through that section. Big slide. That is his trademark style. He's running it a little low. Maybe he's scrubbed some speed away there. Doesn't get the line on the exit. I'm not sure it's going to be his quickest run. We'll have to wait and see. But he is across the line. And it's third place, 1:12.684 for Markarian. A little quicker than Q2, but not as quick as Q1. But even Markarian's Q1 time would not have been quicker than the run of Jack Plummer, who is still in the lead. We're going to head back over to Gaz in a second or two. He has got Owen Fox with him. So let's go back across to Gaz for a quick chat with Owen.
Much in. Owen, talk us through that third run.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was my fastest run of the day. Actually, I think it was my fastest run of the weekend, but it definitely was not my cleanest. I made mistakes, I think, in all three of the major corners. It's such a technical road, you know, and if you make even just a little mistake, it'll really make you pay for it. So I've been improving all day, all weekend, so I'm honestly pretty bummed with how that one went. It's pretty sloppy. But in the end, you know, all that matters is the race. So
exactly. Is it good to get that mistake out of the way now when it's just the time pressure in the starting line position? Like, is it better to do that now than you kind of know that going into the races?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good learning moment. I'd rather do it now than in the racing, but, you know, time trial is mostly a personal thing, but it feels good to be on top, and it's a big ego boost and a big confidence boost when you do well. So would have liked to do a bit better, but I'll take what I got, and I know that I still have more pace in the tank.
Yeah, exactly. And as you say, still your quickest run of the day, so that's pretty awesome. Yeah. So any thoughts kind of going into the races?
No, I mean, you know, as I get, like, I definitely want to cut a bit more time off if I want to be sort of in the heat. The two-man is just going to be so interesting. It's really going to be very difficult to make passes, so the kick is going to be super important. And making those passes is going to be, they're going to be small windows to make passes, so it's going to be super interesting. The strategy is something that I think we're going to have to figure out on the go, and I'm not really going to know exactly how it's going to work until we get into it.
Just got to take the opportunities when they come and die for that.
Exactly.
Die for that win.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get back to the racing very soon, and good luck when we get through to those knockouts.
Thank you.
And over to you.
We bring you all the stars of this game. And one of the stars about to get underway. Harry Clark. Good in Q1. 1:12.184. Pretty good in Q2 as well. 1:12.289. But others improved by more. So Clark, bit of work to do. He wants pole position. He's got it within him. Strong start from Harry Clark. It's Jack Plummer still with the fastest time. And after Clark, we've got 4 more to go in Q3. Beautiful exit from turn 1. Carrying some good speed over the rise. Hug the left-hand side of the road, then look across to the right-hand side. Oh, a little wobble there from Clark. A little speed wobble, but he recovered with lightning quick reactions. Keeping it moving out of the hairpin. The chicane approaching, and Clark gets that smooth slide in. He's carried some good speed in, working his way into the chicane. Pinches the right-hand side. He should have a good exit from the chicane. He's got that. It is head down for Harry Clark from Australia. Crosses the line, and Clark goes into top spot. 1:11.406 for Harry Clark. That is by far and away his quickest time of this session. He puts the pressure on the 4 riders still to come. Paynel, Bouclier, Zuganakis and Schwab. Paynel next up on the line. Second place, of course, for him in Erzincan, just ahead of Adam Westphal. Diego Poncelet, 3rd and 4th. So Paynel gets moving, goofy-footed rider. Of course, should suit him. That could be key once we get into the head-to-head racing. The sparks are flying, as they always are, on the Brinx World Downhill Skateboarding Championship. Paynel needs to go on a charge, which Harry Clark has done. Harry Clark with a stunning time of 1:11.406, but we know there's quick times out there. Schwab's been in the 1:10s. So Paynel through the hairpin. That's all gone to plan so far for the Frenchman. Rocketing through the beautiful Welsh countryside. Pinches it. Coming in to the chicane. Gets the brakes on. Scrubs the speed away. Pinches the line there. Moves across to the left. Runs it out. On the right-hand side. Adrien Paynel from France. Now it's all eyes on the clock. And Paynel with a 1:10.465. That, folks, was rapid. Paynel takes over in top spot. What has he got in store in the finals? Is that going to be good enough? It is just the times from Q3 that matter for pole position. So you can forget about the 1:10.680 that Schwab set in Q2. He's got to do it again if he wants pole position. But we've now got the young gun. Andreas Bouclier, 1:11.640, his fastest time. Q3 really hotting up here. The pace originally set by Jack Plummer, who's still in 3rd place. And our winner from Erzincan, our tour leader. Will he be the tour leader after this weekend? There's still a lot of racing to come, of course, and we're only at the time trials, a qualification. Smooth as you like from Bouclier. This youngster has just got a supreme set of skills, hasn't he? And they're paying the bills. Will they pay the bills at the end of the season with the Brinx Cup? And the prize money, he is pushing it here. Bob Bouclier absolutely loved that exit. This is going to be good, but how good for the Frenchman? Paynel's time at 1:10.465, 1:10.629 for Bouclier. It is rapid, but not quite rapid enough to get pole position. Well, Bouclier announcing himself in this competition. We've got 2 to go. Gregor Schwab will be last. Zouganakis next up. 1:11.540 his best. But we've seen Clark go quicker than that now. Bouclier has gone quicker. Paynel has gone quicker. And Zouganakis waiting for the command from Mr. Stevenson. Here we go. Zouganakis gets his qualifying run underway. Powering out of the start with that strong push with the left foot. Goofy-footed rider. Now turn 1. Brakes go on. Just a quick slide through the turn. A different angle for you. Shows how tight it is. Robbie, our drone pilot, picking them up from that angle. I like that angle. That was used. That was good. Just seeing it from a different perspective. And now the hairpin. Zouganakis pinches it pretty early, but it's worked. Carried the speed out. In that tuck position, hands behind the back. Thinking about the plan for the chicane. Nice, just starts to rise a little, gets into position. Those pucks go down, brakes go on. This is going to be quick, it's aggressive. He's got to try and hang on here through this turn. He gets the exit. Zouganakis on a charge as well. All eyes on the clock. France in first and second. The time of Zouganakis, it's a 1:10.982. Or 9:02 in fact. 1:10. Either way, it's fast. He goes into third place. Paynel leads with a 1:10.465. Bouclier in second. Zouganakis in third, 1:10.902, just to confirm the time. Well, Gregor Schwab now wants to spoil the French party here. He's been the quickest man on the hill up to this point. His fastest time, a 1:10.680. 2 riders have now gone quicker than that time. So Schwab has to step it up. The last man to go in qualification. It's this for pole position. There's the exit, and you can see that rise just a little clearer when we pick the rider up from turn 1. See it from that angle, and then it drops away, and the speed builds again quickly. Schwab quickly over to the right-hand side of the road. Gets those brakes on. Gets that slide on. Now, carries a lot of speed out of the exit. He's been quick all day. Is he going to be quick enough on his third and final qualification run? That is a beautiful position from Schwab. Launches it into the chicane. He's taken a lot of risk here. There's the slide. Gets that apex. It's going to be very tight coming out. Is that quite as quick as the French riders? I'm not so sure. We'll have to wait and see. It's over to the clock as Schwab crosses the line. Paynel's 1:10.465 is beaten with a 1:10.312. Gregor Schwab takes pole position here at the Brinx World Downhill Skateboarding Championship in Q3. 4 riders dropping below 1:11. That was an electric qualifying session. And Schwab, who's been the quickest all day long, is the quickest in Q3 as well. What a session, folks. It's all set up for the head-to-head racing. We're looking out over the beautiful Welsh valleys here at Ride the Dragon. We're in the kingdom of awesomeness. We've seen some awesomeness already. But now, all eyes turn to the head-to-head racing. Keep an eye on social media. We'll let you know when those finals are taking place. So thanks for your company for the qualification. We'll see you again for the head-to-head racing.